The microscope revolutionized our understanding of the world, revealing the teeming microcosm that exists all around us, in every plant, animal, and drop of water. A hitherto unknown and only speculated upon realm was revealed when the compound microscope was invented around the turn of the 17th century. The public was fascinated by images of microscopic worlds, and etchings of these scenes, both horrifying and amusing, were extensively published. The proliferation of popular images featuring the microscope quickly brought the device into the common visual lexicon, and even as the technology advanced through the centuries, the device remained a potent symbol of erudition, education, and the quest for knowledge. However, the microscope did not just expand the realm of the visual to the microscopic, but also added a new visual icon which proved to add new layer of visual meaning to other works. As was common in portraiture of the time, props were often used to convey the occupation, personality, and avocations of the subject. Among Boston area grandees, we see Paul Revere with a product of his silversmithing, the revolutionary Samuel Adams with the Massachusetts Bay Charter, and the merchant Charles Apthorpe with a trading ship on the horizon. As Suzanne Gapps explains, men of science were pictured with props to indicate their areas of expertise. Robert Owen is pictured with animal bones, James Bower banked with sponges and microscopes, and Ernst Haeckel is shown equipped with all the paraphernalia of a field naturalist. For men of science, the instrument of the microscope was incorporated into the public's collective consciousness as a symbol of scientific inquiry and lent credence to their expertise and genius. This trope has great longevity, showing up in art soon after the invention of the microscope, and continues in portraits and other visual artifacts today. In 1617, Jan Bruegel the Elder and Peter Paul Rubens painted Sight, the first in a series of allegorical paintings of the five senses. Among the scattered scientific instruments, such as a sextant, compass, telescope, and armillary sphere, is a single-lens microscope. Even early in the 17th century, this tool was recognized as an important piece of scientific apparatus. By way of reference, Robert Hooke's Micrographia, which greatly expanded the public's awareness of microscopy, was not published until 1665. The Impressionist Sorolla painted this picture of the Spanish psychologist and biologist Dr. Luis Simaro La Cabra in 1897. The gleaming microscope forms the focal point of the painting, a parallel formed between the shiny objectives and Simaro's lucid eyes. His hands are posed to emphasize the primacy of observation and documentation, and the portrait makes inseparable the man and his work. Pasteur is also depicted in 1885 with a microscope on his bench while working on his germ theory. Even into the 20th century, the microscope continues to project gravitas and expertise, as in this 1908 painting titled Sentence of Death by John Collier, which, as J.A. Bennett describes, helps establish the doctor's credentials. It symbolizes the authority of his office. We feel that the patient has the right to be stunned, to accept, as he so clearly does, the dreadful news, because we know that the doctor is a man of science. The simple tool projects a visual barrier between the two men, and also functions as a supporting character in the story of the painting. Into the 20th century, many photographs continue to use the microscope as a visual metaphor for diligence and purpose. However, women became more frequently the subjects of such portraits. Is this because of the increasing number of women involved in physical sciences professionally? Or could this be due to the need to provide a prop to prove that women pictured were legitimately performing science, an overemphasis attempting to rectify centuries of stereotypes about science being an inherently male endeavor? As a testament to the tenacity of the trope, the 10-pound British banknote printed in 2000 honoring Charles Darwin featured, among other symbols of his research, a single-lensed microscope magnifying a flower, presumably observed during his voyage to the Galapagos. The microscope in this piece of currency functions in exactly the same symbolic way as in earlier paintings. The user of the bill is not expected to be well versed in the personage of a famous man, but the panoply of signs could clue the viewer into the referent. The visual trope of the scientist sedulously peering into a microscope continues to this day, with ample examples found on Harvard's own department pages. Viewers understand the microscope as a symbol of learning, and it shapes the way they view an image, often subconsciously conveying assumptions of knowledge on the subject of the scene.